Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, and every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, and every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you.
live sale today, and this is called Indian Summer Gardening. And what it is people people don't realise what a great time this is for planting. And what it is, you've got that warm period in autumn. It's starting to rain, but it's not cold and miserable like winter. And the soil is warm. And if you plant your plants now, what you're going to find is that they'll take root within the next couple of weeks, and they'll start to grow. And come spring, they'll be well established, and they'll take off and grow beautifully in spring. You'll get a beautiful spring growth. And then by summer, you've got hardy, well-established, nice-sized plants. So it's a fabulous time to plant. It's the Indian summer, and it's the time to get out there and get gardening. And what we've done is to excite you and get you interested in gardening at the moment. What we've done is we've got a range of plants, all really, really affordable. You'll be amazed at some of the deals we've got today. Plants and good-sized plants at fabulous prices, and interesting plants. And basically, you've got climbers, you've got trees, you've got bushes, you've got flowers, you've got autumn colour, you've got every sort of thing. So anybody who's planning an autumn planting project could use the plants that we're offering today. You could use the plants that we're offering today to do your Indian summer project. And now, Jodie, tell people how they can purchase today.
Sure, no worries. Hi everyone, I'm Jodie. I'm going to be one of your hosts today. We've got a jam-packed 2 hours for you as part of the Growers Direct Flash Sale, the Indian Summer Gardening Special. So if you're just joining, check out the pinned comment, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you to our website where you can shop for everything that we're featuring today. Let's talk value, Chris. Today's prices are seriously lower than what you'd find at most nurseries. We have limited stock, and so it's, as always, it's first serve, best dressed.
Yeah, what's happened is I've gone out to the growers. That's why we call it a Grower Direct Flash Sale. I've gone out to the growers and I said, listen, I'm going to put this stuff live on the web. I need some good deals. And they've given me good deals. They generally, because they're such good deals, they limit the numbers available. And so you're getting, sometimes some of these things you'll be getting it cheaper than I can normally buy it for wholesale. So you're getting really, really cheap deals, special deals put on by the growers. This is giving you direct access to the growers. And what's interesting is that Victoria is the nursery capital of Australia. It's the most competitive nursery market in Australia. And you'll find there's literally thousands of growers out there, some of them just little backyard growers, some with acres and acres of plants growing, multi-million-dollar enterprises, and they pump out millions upon millions of plants. And so we're probably the highest turnover retail nursery. So when I go out to the growers and say, listen, give me a good deal, they give me a good deal on some stuff. And this makes today's exercise really, really exciting. And the thing is, you can come down to the nursery today and you can pick up most of these things direct off the sale if you're quick enough. Pick up direct. You can get on the phone and say, listen, I saw a couple of them blah blah blahs, and put them aside for me. So you can buy them over the phone, you can go online and grab them, or you can just come in and check them out for yourself and grab them. So real easy to get onto these fabulous specials.
Chris, KCD Deal says, I hope you sell rare bougainvilleas next time.
We've got a beautiful patch of rare bougainvilleas came in today, but they're not on the sale, and I'll consider doing that. I might speak to our bougainvillea grower and see if she'll look after us with a good deal. So I'll take you up on that idea. Now the first one, let's go to our first plant. Now this is a plant that's becoming increasingly popular, and often people sell it in tubes, and normally tubes will cost you $3 or $4. What's amazing, we've got them in 6-inch pots. It's Dichondra repens, and they're $2.99. So $2.99 for Dichondra repens, and you can plant a lawn with these. You can put them in between your pavers, grow them in a pot, grow them as a ground cover. Fabulous plants, and $2, lovely, thick, healthy, bushy ones. I'll give you a close look at these, and they're $2.99. So $2.99, beautiful 6-inch pot, perfect quality, and that's less than what they normally wholesale for.
Chris, Len is on TikTok, has asked, do we have Acer palmatum senkaki on special today? And I think we do have those coming up later.
Senkaki, we've got 20-inch ones, monster one, great big 20-inch ones for $4.39. Oh no, $1.89. They're reduced from $4.39 to $1.89. So beautiful big ones. But what you'll find, if you were to come down here, you'll find Senkakis in all sizes, from little fellas for $30-40 to great big ones for a couple $100.
Hope that was helpful, Len.
Now we've got Silver Dichondra, one of the most popular plants. You can grow this in a hanging basket. You can grow it in a pot. You could say you've got a nice palm tree in a pot on your patio. You can put this underneath. It'll cascade over the side of the pot and look fabulous. You can grow it as a lawn. I've grown whole big lawns of it. You can grow it around your paving. It's a very versatile plant. If you've got an ugly wall, you can plant it on top of the ugly wall and it'll cascade over and cover up ugly retaining walls. So really, really useful plant. And normally you're paying $14.99. These are $10.99. So lovely, healthy Silver Dichondra for $10.99. So $10.99 for Silver Dichondra. So these are all your carpeting and ground cover type plants. Now this is white thyme. Beautiful thick bushy plants, lovely big thick bushy plants. Now white thyme you can grow a lawn, you put it around your pavers, cover up a whole big area. It's a very good, and in summer it has these sweet little white flowers and it's carpeted in beautiful white flowers. It makes a fabulous green carpet, really strong, big, thick, healthy plants here, and really half the price you'd normally pay. These are reduced from $10.99 to $5.99. So $5.99, beautiful quality white thyme.
Beautiful.
Now, one of the favourite plants around at the moment is chalk sticks. Normally $4 each, and these are lovely, chunky, well-established plants. Normally $4 each, and these ones here have been reduced to $2.99. Chalk sticks are great for growing a border. They're great for covering a large area. In the landscape, if you say you've got a feature tree or something like a Gymea lily or some sort of special thing, if you put these around it, the bright silver kind of directs the eye to that feature. So it could be quite an interesting tool in garden design. But these are really, they never need watering. They're really low maintenance. They grow in almost any soil, any conditions, and they carpet the ground, blanket out the weeds. A great low maintenance, sort of tough and brightly coloured ground cover, and they're called chalk sticks, and they're $2.99. Now here we have our lime lava, and you might grab a really nice big lime lava. We'll show them what they grow like. So these lime lavas, normally $14.99, they've been reduced to $10.99. Now they grow into the most beautiful plant. I'll show you one in a sec. So these are something you've got to grow them in they love a sunny spot. They don't want to grow in the shade. I've got them growing in pots, but have a look at this one here. This is just one plant planted in a pot. And if you were to plant one of these little $10.99 ones, you could grow something like this. Believe it or not, because I know because I grow them in my nursery. You can grow that into that in maybe 10 weeks in hot summer weather. So and they get, as they get bigger, they get smoother and more beautiful. So $10.99 for lime lava. You can use them as sort of lovely bright green spots in sunny spots in the garden. You can grow them in pots. You can grow them, or you can plant them close together and create a carpet out of them.
Chris, we've got a comment from Rianus on TikTok who has asked, do we have any 13-inch Pyrus capitals?
Yes, they're coming up, Pyrus capitals, and they're coming up for a remarkably low price, which I'll tell you soon when we get to it. Now here we have Ajuga Bronze Beauty. Now this is Ajuga. I love Ajuga because Ajuga is called bugle weed, and I love the word weed because what that means is lots of people have ground covers that never really cover the ground. And this, if you plant, now this loves a bit of a shady spot. If you plant this in a shady spot, give it a bit of water and fertilizer, it will cover the ground, and you get these lovely, once they cover the ground, you get a thick show for quite a few months of the year, these lovely blue flowers. And when you haven't got blue flowers, you've got beautiful sort of bronzy purple foliage. So, and the word weed means easy to grow, covers the ground, no worries. Now, one of the best ground covers around, these flower 365 days a year. These are native violets. I'll show you these gorgeous little flowers up close. Have a look at that. So native violet, so beautiful, beautiful little flowers, lovely green, easy to grow almost anywhere, loves a shady corner, will grow in the sun. Give it a bit of water, a bit of fertilizer, spreads really quickly. Grow it in a pot, put it in a hanging basket. A really I'd call it a very prolific plant, and these have been reduced from $11.99 to $6.99, so $6.99 for native violet.
All right, Chris, so everything that, that the folks at home see today here is available online by the link that's pinned to our social media, pinned to our socials, or you can go to the QR code as well on our on the screen.
Yeah, or you can ring up and say, give me some of these Kalbarri carpets. So now, these are normal Kalbarri carpets down at your local store. They could cost $16-17 because they're a patented sort of, you know, high-priced kind of plant. But we've got them here today, Kalbarri carpet for $11.99. Now what these do is they make a sort of a taller kind of ground cover. They'll sort of grow knee-high and they'll cover a large area. If you want quick cover, you plant 2 per square metre. If you're patient, you plant 1 per square metre. And they have, you can see the yellow, I'll show you the yellow flowers, but what it is, they're Australian native. I've seen these growing in really terrible soil and hot, dry conditions, not much water. So really tough and low and spreading in silver. So that you get a bit of brightness into your native garden with Kalbarri carpet. And these ones here, great buy at $11.99. So $11.99, beautiful, healthy sticks. They're not seconds or anything like that. They're perfect quality, but much cheaper than you normally pay. Now here we have another good native ground cover. This is called carpet layer. Now it spreads out, it's just a low grow. It'll only grow like 40-50 centimetres tall, but it's spread right out and cover several square metres. So if you've got a big embankment or something a bit ugly you want to cover and make beautiful, here it is. And then what it has beautiful sort of red flowers on it, and they're like little bottle brush flowers, and it flowers for months and months and months. So prolific grower, tough, covers a big area, got a nice bit of colour. Have a look at it. Actually, I'll show you the label up close, and I'll show you that, and you'll see the foliage as well. Have a look at that. So you've got a bit of colour in the foliage, beautiful red flowers. That's it there, and that's it there. So that's the and you can see the bit of bronze in the foliage. So colourful foliage, nice, really nice foliage, and they're nice and cheap. They've been reduced from $16.99 to $14.99. So $14.99, great price for a carpet layer Grevillea.
Now, Chris, I see we're getting a lot of love online for those Grevilleas, so that's great. A lot
I
of
thought
love
it was
on
for
TikTok.
me and my pink tutu.
It could well be. Well, chuck us some hearts if you like Chris's tutu.
Yeah. Star of Toscana. This is a jasmine, and this is one of the ones that's hard to get. It's got a cute little yellow flower. I'll show it to you here. See that lovely little yellow flower, and it's a bit like a star jasmine, but it's called Star of Toscana. So if you want a beautifully fragrant ground cover or climber to cover the wall, go for Star of Toscana. Now they're normally a bit expensive and hard to get. They've been reduced from $15.99 to $11.99. So a beautiful quality plant for $11.99. Now if you want to get these, you could ring up, you could go online, you could just come down here and grab them. But basically these have been reduced for $11.99, and they'll stay reduced till next Friday, or when we sell, either when we sell out, or they'll stay reduced right through till next Friday when we do our next sale. So for Rihanna, who was on TikTok, I was asking about the capital pears. Right, so here we are, capital pears. Now these ones here, they've come down from up in the hills. They're losing a bit of leaf, but what's interesting about these is that they've got a nice root system. Have a look at that. So as opposed to buying bare root, you've got a beautiful full root system, and these are going to power away this spring. Are we able to see the roots there? Have a look at that. So nice, good, strong root system, well established. That these have been field grown in the winter, then planted in the pot, and because they've been up in the hills, they've lost their leaves a little bit early, but they're well over 2 metres tall. Great way to get into capital pear. Beautiful root system, power away in spring, and they've been reduced from $139.99 to $69.99. So $69.99, and you got pears that are well over 2 metres tall.
That's amazing value, Chris.
And that was a capital pear. Now your capital pear is your skinny pear. Your Cleveland pear grows in the most beautiful teardrop shape, has fabulous white blossom in spring, beautiful red autumn colour. This one unfortunately started to lose its leaves a little bit early too from being up in the hills, and that's been reduced. These are just over about 2.2 metres tall, and they're reduced from $139.99 to $69.99.
Chris, we've got a question from Crystal Coots on TikTok asking, when is the best time to plant roses?
Now is a great time. Now is a great time because they're sort of slowing down a bit. But you know, if you put potted ones in now, they're going to power away early in spring. They're going to power away early in spring, and you're going to have fabulous flowers by cup time. Now, what we've got here is a blood-good Japanese maple, and these ones here are 13-inch pot, elite grade, and they're reduced from $229 to $139.99. Now that's really, blood-good has beautiful red foliage, spring, summer and autumn, and then right at the end of autumn the foliage turns bright scarlet and falls off, so I have beautiful scarlet right at the end. You can actually see the label here, you can see the colour on that label there, that's its autumn colour there. So beautiful. So this is a fabulous tree to have colour for 9 months, fabulous colour for 9 months, and it's not a big tree, it'll only grow about 3.5 metres tall and a couple of metres wide, so small. So if you had a small tree with an inoffensive root system and beautiful colour in spring, summer and autumn, you can't go wrong. And if you went down to your local nursery, one like this, it's got to be $200-300. These are $139.99, but there's only a limited number, so you've got to jump in and grab those. $139.99.
Fantastic. Now, Chris, Karan has got a question on TikTok. Can we grow mangoes in Victoria in a sunny corner of the house?
No, I don't think you don't. I don't think you've got enough heat. Brisbane's about as far south as you can successfully grow them, and even then, that's a bit far south. Okay, so now we have a Sakasuki Japanese maple. Now, a Sakasuki. Have a look at this label here. Look at the brilliant colour on this. So can you see the brilliant colour on that label? Do I have to bring it up? So this one here, a Sakasuki, I think probably has the best colour. If you want a really vibrant sort of scarlet red autumn colour, I'll show it to you. If you want a brilliant scarlet red autumn colour, Sakasuki is probably the one to have. And I'll just show it to you there. Have a look there. So, and now the other thing about a Sakasuki, it's not a tall grower. It spreads out a little bit and makes a beautiful shape, but it's not tall. So that's the colour of it, and you'll find that this one's branched up well already. Now, Sakasukis, really, they're very hard to get. Most nurseries don't even stock them at all. There's been a real run on them the last few years, and the growers, because one like this would be 6 or 7 years old, so with the sun these are very hard to get maple. They have a slightly bigger leaf. The leaf is a deeper green than a normal Japanese maple, and then the most amazing autumn colour, and the autumn colour is going to last for weeks. So these are fantastic. If you want a very compact, upright, non-weeping Japanese maple with incredible autumn colour, this is the one to have. And these ones here are reduced from $199.99 to $129.99, which is really cheap for a Japanese maple. So a Sakasuki, $129.99.
So Chris, we've got a question from TikTok. A question on TikTok from Kira Elizabeth. How do we purchase these plants? Can they be shipped to Brisbane?
Yes, we can ship to Brisbane. You probably, to make it economical, you probably want to buy a few of the plants, and we can ship them to Brisbane, no problems, by the pallet load. Put them on a truck with a pallet. And now here...
And also, Chris, just before we move on, we've got a question from Jane Rhodes, and I believe she's talking about the bloodgood Sakasuki maple. Is the colour better than October Glory?
Yes, it's more vibrant than October Glory. It's a more vibrant colour, and it's an October Glory when it gets going is a very big tree, and your Sakasuki is much smaller. So a lot more people could have an Sakasuki than could have an October Glory. Now here what we've got is we've got an advanced Senkaki maple. Now what's beautiful about this maple here is look at the beautiful thick trunk and a lovely thick branch structure on it. Because the guy who grows these, he grows them in the paddock for a couple of years. This is probably 7 or 8 years old. Grows in the paddock for a few years, and then it gets it nice and bushy and strong, and then digs it up and plants it in the pot and grows in the pot for another year. and he grows it with plenty of space, so you've got a beautifully branched up tree. Now this has amazing scarlet stems in the winter, beautiful pink and orange autumn colour in autumn, so fabulous autumn colour, fabulous red branches, and even a bit of sort of pink and orange in the spring colour as well. And normally you'd pay $429.99, and this enormous tree here, this is very big for a Japanese maple, really well established. If you've got an apartment or something like, you know, like a small townhouse and you've got a little courtyard, this is probably the best tree you can get. And this one here is now $299. That's really, really cheap. $299 for a beautiful Asakasuki maple, an advanced Asakasuki maple. So $299, reduced from $429.99.
You got the Senkaki there, Chris?
Now here we've got, now how to buy this stuff, you can come down to the nursery and buy it. You can get it on the phone and you could say, that tree that was just up there on the screen, I want it. Or you can go online and you can buy.
Now Chris, Bambi has asked a question on TikTok. My prunus blossom tree has never grown since it's planted. What can I do?
Well, what my question is, does it get leaves? If it gets leaves, all you need to do is give it more water and more fertilizer, a bit of Osmocote, cultivate around the base and give it more water. But if it hasn't got leaves, if you planted it and it never leafed up, that means it's a goner, and you might need a new one. But if it's got leaves and it's hanging, it's got some leaves, cultivate around it, put a good dose of Osmocote on it and give it plenty of water, and it'll take off and grow. They're very easy to grow if they're alive. Now here we have a red dragon Japanese maple. This is a real collector's item. Give this another year and you'll start to have a beautiful cascading head on this, and it's red in spring, red in summer, and a brilliant red in the autumn, and beautiful fine foliage. This is going to make the most beautiful weeping tree. What's great about this here is often when you go to your local nursery to buy a nice weeping tree, you'll find that Japanese maples, they'll only be this high. The people graft them really, really low, and it's hard to get one with a bit of height. This one here, it's got a 1.5 metres up to the graft, and then it goes up another 50 centimetres from there up to here. So it's actually 2 metres tall. So if you wanted a red weeping maple, 2 metres tall, this is a great way to get started. And these red dragon ones, they're reduced from $439 to $189.99. So $189.99 for a 2 metre tall red dragon maple. Now what we have here, and I'll hold this up for you, what we have here is a Berberis, and this one here is called Berberis Gold Ring, and I'll show you why in a sec. But Berberis are fabulous plants. You can grow them into hedge. They got prickles on them, but they're not really big or terrible prickles. They got prickles, and this is called Gold Ring because it has a little ring on the foliage. I'll just show you that there. Have a look at that there. Yeah, see that there? It's got a little sort of like ring around the outside of the foliage. And at any rate, Berberis are really, really hardy. Frost, heat, drought, poor soil, they'll take almost anything. And you can clip them into a ball, clip them into a box shape, grow them as a hedge, have them as a feature in your garden like that. And one like this, over time would grow up, say, 1.2 metres tall and make a beautiful square hedge or a beautiful round ball or something like that. Could look really fabulous in the garden. And they have colourful foliage in spring, colourful foliage in the summer, and brilliant autumn colour foliage. These haven't started to autumn colour, these are just in their sort of summer colour at the moment. But when the autumn colour of your Berberis is breathtaking, and then they bear off for the winter and then come back with their coloured foliage. So a great source of colour in the garden, very old fashioned, a bit of a novelty. And in autumn colour they're breathtaking. So that's a Berberis Gold Ring, which is a fairly compact one and a very easy one to grow. So Berberis Gold Ring, and I haven't put a price on that. So they've been reduced from $14.99 to $11.99. This is really a rare collector's plant, and for $11.99, fabulous value. There we are, Berberis Gold Ring.
Now, Chris, just jumping back to the Japanese maples, Ample Warning on YouTube, has asked, will these Japanese maples go all right through the Melbourne winter with full or indirect shade only?
Yes, they'll love it.
Beautiful.
They're dormant, they're asleep, they won't mind that shady winter. Now here we've got 8-inch pot silver birches. Now I did a video about how silver birches the very cheap way to make a very, very classy garden. These silver birches here, these are young. They're just over 1 metre tall. They're nice young silver birches, and these are immature. And young seed grown immature birches like this, if you water and fertilise them and look after them, in 2 to 3 years you can have a 5 or 6 metre silver birch with a beautiful white trunk. And they look like you've spent thousands. And I did a video about which you can see about how a person's made a beautiful frontage of silver birches for very little cost. So if you buy, the way to buy silver birches is buy nice young healthy ones like this, and keep the grass and weeds away from the bottom, fertilise and water them, and you could, in 3 years, you could get 5 metres with a white trunk and look absolutely amazing. And these birches here, and they're so cheap, like you could afford to paint a little forest or a row or a hedge or a screen or whatever you want. And silver birches are great. They give you shade in the summer, and their leaves fall off and they let the sun through in the winter, so they're a great sort of climate modifier. These have been reduced from $24.99, which was cheap in the first place, to $16.99. So plant an avenue on your farm. Birches, basically, they'll have a bit of mulch, they'll have weed control, they'll have a bit of a fair bit of water, a bit of fertiliser, and anybody can have them. And only $16.99 a metre tall.
Now, Chris, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go.
I was going to say, we've got a question on Facebook from Brooke, who's asked, with grafted maples, if the main stem of the plant starts to shoot new growth, should this be removed?
Yes, yeah. Well, you just let the graft grow, because what would happen is it'll take the understock can take over quite easily from the.
And I've got a question on Instagram from Ran Engineer. What are some Mediterranean plants that I can plant right now for a Mediterranean style garden?
Olives, rosemary, lavender, pink carpet rose. There we are. So we better push on with this. So Hass avocado, 12-inch pot. Now these are enormous. These are grafted. These will flower in spring, and planted and looked after. These could actually produce 1 or 2 avocado fruit next year, and plenty the year after. These have been reduced from $169.99 to $69.99. So $69.99. And they're properly established trees, ready, sexually mature and ready to start producing. And they're the Hass variety, which people can grow successfully in Victoria.
And how much are those?
$69.99.
Down from $169.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now here we've got the crisp pink apple in a 7-inch pot, and these are reduced from $49.99 to $10.99. So crisp pink apple. Now crisp pink, that's a kind of like a miniature version of your pink lady apple. So it's got that tangy flavour and beautiful pinky colour on the apple. And these are well grown. These I reckon 2 years and you'd be covered in apples with these ones here. And these crisps pink are only $10.99, reduced from $49.99. So beautiful crisp pink apple, $10.99. Now Sweet Cheeks apple, this is a dwarf apple with a miniature apple, and so Sweet Cheeks apple, normally $49.99. These have been reduced to $10.99, and these make beautiful sweet little apples that the kids would love them if you put them in their kids' lunches. So great for the kids' lunches, great for the kids anytime. A little miniature apple will get them interested in eating fruit, and these are reduced from $49.99 to $10.99. $10.99, crazy price.
All right, so for those who have just joined us, if you want to purchase any of these plants today, everything that you see is available online via the link in our socials or the QR code that's on the screen. And we suggest that you shop now because the stock is limited.
That's right. Now everybody should have a lemon tree. Occasionally I have to buy a lemon in one of the big shopping centres, and lemons these days can cost $1 for a lemon. And you can have a lemon tree in your backyard covered, it'll take you a few years, you have a lemon tree covered with hundreds of lemons worth hundreds of dollars. So here we have your Eureka lemon. Your Eureka lemon is, if you live south of the Divide in what we call a sort of a coastal type climate, Eureka lemons are fast growing. They produce lemons every day of the year. It's a big juicy lemon, not too thick skin, not too many thorns. It's really the perfect lemon tree and great for that sort of mild south of the divide type climate in Victoria. Eureka lemons normally $19.99. These are $15.99. So $19.99 reduced to $15.99. And these are also ones that will only be a medium size. They're not a dwarf, they're not a big one, they'll be a medium size, growing on their own roots, beautiful healthy trees, and only a couple of years to be producing your own lemons, and you won't be buying them for $1 at the local supermarket. Now here we have your Tahitian lime. Now if you've got a lemon tree, you probably, like if you ain't got any citrus, you probably start with a lemon tree, but if you've already got a lemon tree, your lime gives you lots of tangy flavour, great in your Corona, like great in your margarita, like really, really wonderful tangy flavour. I really like lime in my guacamole as opposed to lemon, and these ones here reduced from $19.99 to $15.99, medium-sized growers. Great way to get started with a lime in your garden at only $15.99.
Now Chris, Bambi is on TikTok and asks, my lemon tree has a lot of lemons on it that won't turn yellow, and it's 2 years old, 6 foot high. Any suggestions?
I reckon they love fertilizer. Put a bit of compost around it, maybe some Osmocote around it, really boost it, get it really hopping. It sounds pretty good, 6 foot tall. I reckon a bit more fertilizer, and make sure you've got a nice big cultivated circle around it. Don't have grass growing up around it. Sort of basically make the conditions a little bit better for it, and you'll be getting more fruit. Now everybody loves blackberries, but not a lot of people don't like the blackberry thorns. It can be quite prickly, picking blackberries. And here we've got thornless blackberries. Now these are going to produce just like a normal blackberry, beautiful blackberries. I love blackberry pie, blackberry dessert, blackberry jam, fabulous. I reckon one of the nicest berries around. And these blackberries here, prolific growers, prolific fruiters, and I'd say it would take you 2 years and you would be self-sufficient in blackberries. You go off the grid with blackberries. At any rate, these are reduced from $15.99 to $11.99, and they're beautiful, healthy plants. Look at that. And there's an abundance of blackberries on the label. Look how they can produce. Fantastic. Look at that. And you'll enjoy picking your blackberries because these ones are thornless. So you don't have, somebody's bred the thorns off the blackberry.
Now Chris, Freed is on Facebook and has said thank you so much for your great descriptions.
Oh, great. I love doing it. And so now we've got Lomandra Lime Tuff. Now, Lime Tuff is great stuff because what it is, this one grows a bit taller than knee high. It's green, it's lush. They plant it on the sides of freeways, around supermarkets, universities, hospitals. It stays green and lush all year round. You cannot kill it. Lack of water, crook soil, nothing will kill it, and it just looks green and lush all year round. So if you need something green and lush, maybe up the driveway, something super low maintenance, your Lime Tuff is the answer. And these are beautiful thick bushy plants, and normally these are a $16.99 plant. These ones here you can have for $9.99. So $9.99 for beautiful lush healthy Lime Tuff. Now English box at some places can be quite expensive. Now what we've got here is we've got really good size English box. These are about, they'd be 25 centimeters tall, nice and bushy. Now these ones here are reduced from $9.99, which is a good price for something like that. A lot of places wouldn't even have them that cheap. They're reduced to $5.99. And you don't have to buy 50 or 100, you can just buy one, $5.99. But if you're planting them out as a hedge, I suggest 5 per metre. Now these are of a size that if you planted them now, gave them a good feed, these would give you a beautiful low hedge looking absolutely fabulous by the middle of next spring. So these are going to take off and go berserk in spring and make a beautiful established looking English box hedge, but you've got to plant 5 of them to the metre, and they're only $5.99. So anybody could afford to plant them. And the other thing you could do is, say you're putting a property on for auction in the middle of winter or something like that, I'd do 6 of them to the metre. If you do 6 to the metre, they'll look great straight away.
Now, Chris, we've got Carlos who is on Facebook. I need some new soil in my garden bed. How is it best to replace it?
Don't replace your soil. You don't need new soil. What you need to do is improve the soil you've got. So you would dig it over, you'd get some good quality potting mix and you'd mix that through it, add a bit of fertiliser, a bit of soil wetter and just improve the soil you got. The soil that you buy isn't often that good, so I'd be more inclined to mix in potting mix, fertiliser and soil wetter and improve my soil.
Agree. And now we've got Custado 42 on TikTok who's saying this is the best ever.
Oh, thank you very much. He's probably talking about my legs, isn't he?
Probably.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Very
yeah,
likely.
Yeah. So Lomandra Tanika, do you know this is Australia's most popular ornamental plant? These are planted by the million along around universities, shops, shopping centres. You see them everywhere. Like I go to the shopping centre in Shepparton, and the Coles in Kyla actually, and they're everywhere, all around the car park, and they're luscious and they're soft and they're feathery, and you walk through them from your car and they're lovely and soft, and they blow in the wind, and basically they end up about this high and about this wide and really green and lush and beautiful. And if you wanted something green and lush and super low maintenance, you can't go wrong with these. Now normally they're a little bit expensive, but these ones here have been reduced from $10 to $5.99, so $5.99. And you get a really decent plant for that. Look at that. Really good, strong plant. I'll bring it up close so you can have a good look. But you're really getting a great start. And so these are the sort of thing, if you had a factory and or you know, some sort of commercial operation, or even a garden, or even a rental property, somewhere where you want a green and lush, not too much maintenance, not too much watering, you couldn't go past these at $5.99 for Lomandra Tanika, the #1 selling ornamental plant in Australia.
Chris, so Basic Aussie Mum is on TikTok and she said the nostalgia I felt seeing you on my FYP, and she's put some love hearts. Love hearts
you.
up there.
Love it, thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
and Ashley's asking, where are your pants? Lol.
Right, so now what we've got is Japanese box, 8-inch pots, so 8-inch pot Japanese box. Now, Japanese box is a different colour to your normal box, and it's much faster growing. If you planted these 3 or 4 to the metre, watered and fertilised them, and you could grow them, like the best ones I've ever seen were in Dubbo, but you see them, they're everywhere in Sydney. But your Japanese box is your real, and Adelaide, it's about the only box you see in Adelaide. I think Adelaide's a bit hot in that for English box, but these are great even in Melbourne. If you want a really tough hedge, and maybe you want to grow a hedge 1 metre tall, maybe 1.5 metres tall, even 2 metres tall, Japanese box will do it quickly and be very tough and very easy to look after. And it's a lovely bright soft green colour. You can see there, look, I'll put a bunch of together, you see that? Lovely bright soft green, different texture to your English box, and much faster growing. And these ones here, 8-inch pots, reduced from $20 to $15.99. So $15.99, that's a really good price for Japanese box. And these Japanese box, they would be 55 centimetres tall. So 55 centimetres tall, beautiful established plants, and only $15.99.
Chris, now we've got a couple of questions we need to deal with here. So first of all, so Rennie Engineer on Instagram is asking about those Lomandra Tanikas.
Yep.
Are these ornamental grasses allergy free or allergy friendly?
Yes, I've never heard of anybody having an allergy to a Tanika.
Beautiful. Now we've also got Frank who's on Facebook. Hi, I'm looking at growing some quick growing hedge on the side of the fence. Would like it to grow 3 to 4 metres, and the area is about 2 metres wide by 25 metres long. What do you suggest, please?
One of the hardiest and most versatile hedges around is Vitinia robusta. Now we have them here, not in this sale, but we have them here starting at $5 each. And we've got them at about, I think, $12, $12.99 each, and they'd be nearly 60 centimetres tall. And Vitinia robusta grow anywhere in Victoria. And if you bought little ones and you pump the water and fertiliser into them for a year, you could have them up 2 metres tall. So, and they're tough. They'll grow in almost any soil. They'll take heat, wind, frost, cold, bit of salt. Really good tough plants. So that'd be my all-round recommendation. Now,
we've got some more questions we got to get through. So first of all, so We have somebody on TikTok has asked, do you know Tim Star?
Tim Star.
I don't know Tim Star. Do you know Tim
No.
Star? All right. We'll have to find out. Random question. Do you know when is a good time to plant Cosmos in temperate Victoria?
I reckon you'd want to plant that sort of September, October.
Brilliant. Also, Chris, when can I prune lengthy mature box hedges?
Okay, I would let them photosynthesize through the winter and gather energy, and then just before they start to grow, say late August, early September, give them a good hard trim.
Excellent. And I think we might have, I'll just double check the socials. Ashley. Okay, so we've got a live Q&A coming up with Chris on Monday at 12 p.m. We've got another question from Treeby Ashley. Thornless blackberry plants sound marvellous indeed. It's not a question, just a comment.
Cool, they are marvellous. You get all the blackberries and none of the thorns.
Yes, excellent. Let's go.
Korean box. Now, Korean box is probably the smallest, most compact box you can get, and they have very, very fine foliage. I might even give you a close-up look at them, and fine, delicate, beautiful foliage. And we all know good things come from Korea, like Hyundais and Pears and various things like that. And so there you are. That's beautiful, fine. So fine and dense. Great if you want a really, really tiny hedge. And these ones here, I'd plant 5 of them to the metre. And these ones here have reduced from $4.99 to $2.99, which is a great price. $2.99 Korean box hedging.
Another question for you, Chris. We've got Rennie Engineer on Instagram's asking, why are my bougainvillea not flowering? Can you help with any advice?
Use Miracle Grow. That'll get anything flowering, but you probably missed your flowering season this year. So start next spring as they start to grow, and use Miracle Grow once a week on them, and tell us how you go with it.
And AAA Home Cleaning is asking, are you hiring?
We are actually, but we won't go into too much. We've got a section on our website for hiring.
Excellent.
So now what we've got here is Korean box 6-inch pots, $12.99 down to $7.99. So beautiful, healthy. These are a great start if you want to grow like a nice little topiary ball or a nice little Korean box hedge. These ones here at Korean box 6-inch pot, they're down to $7.99. So that's the cheapest I've ever had the 6-inch pot Korean box. Normally a little bit pricey. They're slow growing, beautiful miniature box, lovely, fine and dense, and $7.99. So $7.99.
So we've got a comment from Jessie on TikTok, just says, just want to say I love you, dude.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. So here we've got 8-inch pot Dutch box. Now Dutch box is great if you want a very dense hedge, a very green hedge, and a very small hedge. I remember when I was young, I used to trim a couple's Dutch box hedge every year, and their hedge was years and years old, and it was only about 20 centimetres tall. Beautiful little hedge. And I used to have to crawl along, trim it with my shears, and trim it once a year. So Dutch box, very low maintenance, great for a small tight hedge or a lovely big round ball, and it's a really, really nice texture. Much slower growing than even the English box, but have a look at that lovely, actually I'll show it to you there. Look at that beautiful green texture there. Now these are nice big Dutch box, and these ones here are reduced from $21.99 to $14.99. So $14.99, really, really cheap.
Now, Chris, Custado42 on TikTok has said, just had to feed the dog. Can you repeat the last 10 minutes? And I think our message would be head to YouTube because the replay will be up there later today.
Yes, I'll be replaying it endlessly after that, won't I? So now, if you want a modern garden, I'll give you a close-up look at this. This is called chalk mint cordyline. It's a really hardy plant. If you've got rental property, you want something really tough, you've got a factory or petrol station, a farm, these are really good tough with beautiful colour in the foliage and a really, really modern look. And normally quite a pricey sort of thing, normally $34.99, these are reduced to $27.99. And they're beautiful big plants, that'll make a lovely feature in a modern garden. Now, I sold a heap of these this morning to a landscaper and on a property developer, and he was landscaping his units, and he needed a cheap grass to go. He had a 40-metre driveway. And these ones here, these are dieties. They have beautiful white flowers in summer, but fabulous plants for $3.99. Normally you're paying Wild Irish, you're normally paying $4.99, and they're never that big. These are enormous plants. So if you've got a big landscaping project, you need some way of filling it up on the cheap. $3.99. These are they're 60 centimetres tall and $3.99, and they're Dietes grandiflora. These are hardier than Agapanthus, beautiful green foliage all year round, and then 4 or 5 months, sort of spring right through to autumn, beautiful white flowers with little blue and yellow centers, as you can see it there. So Dietes grandiflora, $3.99, and enormous, beautiful plants.
Now, Chris, Castado42 was gave us a compliment on our plug for the YouTube channel, and that is important because if we don't want anybody to miss out. So if anybody has missed any of the live stream today, you can head to the YouTube channel when we're finished later this afternoon, and you'll be able to watch this all over again.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want, there's some great barkers in there, so it's well worth studying. So
we do have a question about those. I believe they were the quarter lines.
Yeah.
Can you cut those right back?
Yes, you can. But if you're cutting the back...
Oh, no, that's the Dietes. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, but what happens though, a lot of people cut them back at the end of summer, and they've got all the spring buds in place, so you miss a lot. You want to cut them back quite carefully so you don't get rid of your spring buds and wreck your spring flowering.
Now, Meow is saying, wow, it's pretty. I've seen some of those in the gardens around my place. And Bambi's saying, Chris, should trim them... Please, Chris, should trim them, hang on, to stop spreading. So should she trim them to stop spreading?
You could eventually, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
beautiful.
A bit of trim will stop them from spreading. Now, here we have Dianella Silver Streak. Now, Dianella Silver Streak, this is an Australian native, and it has beautiful silvery stripes in it. So a really colourful, interesting Australian native, and this is colourful and interesting enough to put it into an exotic garden. And normally these are a bit expensive, a bit hard to get, and these have been reduced from $12.99 to $11.99. So $12.99 would be cheap for these. $11.99 is crazy cheap. Beautiful big bushy plants. I'll show you what you get. That's what you get there for $11.99. So have a look at that. Well, no, it's at $11.99, $11.99. So $11.99, beautiful big plants for $11.99. And Dianella Silver Streak.
Now, Custado42 is saying that he loves the screen in the background, giving a clear view of the bloomage and use.
Great, okay, yeah. So now we've got Silver Sheen. Now, my dad actually brought the first small leaf Pittosporum into Australia back in the 60s. And he then bought 5 or 6 other varieties in, and he spent 20 or 30 years growing them. And after 20 or 30 years of growing them, I said, Dad, which is the one that I should focus on? What's the one I should grow and sell? And he said, Silver Sheen is the pick of the lot. And I've been growing and selling them now for 25 years, and I reckon that these are the best of the small leaf Pittosporums. They make a lovely tall narrow hedge. They're fast, they're easy to grow, they're easy to trim, they're easy to look after. They don't get any diseases, bugs or problems. And these are really, really cheap. They're reduced from $12.99 to $7.99. They're probably 60 centimetres tall and $7.99. And you know, if you planted these and looked after them, I would expect you to have a 1.5 to 1.8 metre hedge within 12 months. Dig a nice big hole, bit of good soil in there, a little bit of Osmocote, keep the grass and weeds away, water them in spring, summer and autumn, and you'll have a 1.5 to 1.8 metre hedge in 12 months from these ones here at only $7.99. $7.99, you get a really decent plant for that $7.99. Here it is here, have a look at that. So $7.99, great plants. Now, this could be the best deal of the day. You know, down at your local nursery, these are nearly 6 foot tall. They're five and a bit foot, and these are weeping lily pillies. Weeping lily pillies make a classy hedge. We send truckloads of them into Brighton and Toorak, and people like them because they don't have red tips and they don't have red berries. They're pretty much berry free, and they have all they're dark green old growth and light green new growth, so it's all green on green. So beautiful, healthy, strong growing plant. And these ones here, they're 5 foot tall. You probably expect to pay $40-50 for them. These are $19.99. So $19.99 for nearly 6 foot. And these are a fast growing hedge. Pump the water and fertilizer in them. They grow like crazy, trim up beautifully, make the most beautiful hedge or screen that you'll ever come across. And I mean, that's them there. Really fabulous screen. And $19.90.
We're getting a lot of love for those weeping lily pillies on
They're
TikTok.
a fantastic deal.
People are saying they're such great prices. They're very impressed.
Now here it is, your Copper Glow Viburnum. Now Viburnums give you a, they give you a whole different look to your Botosdrum and a whole different look to your lily pilly. They're luscious, they're green, they're vigorous, they're really wonderful look to it, and they're fast. You could, with water and fertilizer, you could have this up 1.5, 1.6 meters within 12 months. And these ones here, you would normally expect to pay. You'd normally expect to pay $29.99. These have been reduced to $17.99. Big healthy plant for $17.99. Terrific, isn't it? Copper Glow or Coppertop Viburnum. Now we've got the Layton's Green Conifer, 8-inch pot. Now these ones here are a metre tall, and we're talking a crazy $10.99 for a 1 metre tall Layton's Green cypress. The Layton's Green, if you want to grow a tall screen, say you've got a railway line at the back making too much noise, plant these. These make a beautiful thick bushy hedge that really block out the noise. They block out the dirt. So if you've got a dusty road out the front and you want to block out that dust, plant these ones here. Put them in about 1.2 metres apart. So great for a hedge, great for a screen. Use them as a tall screen, even cut them off and keep them only 2 metres tall as a hedge. So Layton's Green Cypress reduced from $22.99 to $10.99, and they're 1 metre tall. Look at that.
So Mr. P and Jessie are on TikTok, and they're both saying they love cypress, they love these, and they need to order them.
Yeah, cypress are fabulous hedges. Now here we have the Agonis Willow Myrtle, and these are 8-inch pots. Now, these, I've always called these a caravan park tree. I've seen caravan parks absolutely full of them, and why they plant them is they're tough, they're easy to grow, they're fast to grow, and they sort of come up and they hang over like that. Sometimes they're called a willow myrtle, and anyway, they hang over and they create shade. But this is an evergreen. It doesn't have any of the problems that a real willow tree has, but it's fast, a beautiful shade tree. And these ones here, Agonis Willow Myrtle, reduced from $29.99 to $19.99. So $19.99 for a willow myrtle, and you'll have a beautiful shade tree in no time.
Fantastic.
Now we have the upmarket willow myrtle. This one is a burgundy willow myrtle, normally $30.99, and it's been reduced to $19.99. Now this has beautiful fine burgundy foliage. Now what I love about these is that they love being trimmed, and the more you trim them, the more burgundy foliage you get. Now, the great thing about it is that so you can trim these, and you could keep one of these maybe 3 or 4 meters tall, and I'll often use them in my garden designs as like people tell me, oh look, I want an evergreen weeping maple. There's no such thing, and this has such fine, beautiful, colourful texture. I'll show you here. It's a beautiful, fine, colourful texture. And if you keep this trimmed up and keep it small, you get lots and lots of burgundy weeping foliage like that, and it's like having an evergreen weeping maple. So a really interesting small tree in a smart little garden. And those are only $19.99, so $19.99, fabulous price for a burgundy willow myrtle.
Ah, okay, so Christine has said that they are beautiful, and she has sent send us some hearts for those Agonis.
Right, yeah, Agonis are a beautiful tree. Now, over in Western Australia, near Perth, you've got Kings Park. Kings Park, a beautiful big park, fabulous collection of native plants. And this one here was selected from Kings Park as being one of the most beautiful callistemons. And so it's very, very fast growing. It's a very big bush or a very small tree. It gets covered in beautiful red. It's quite upright. Beautiful shape to it, lovely shape, lovely thick foliage, and gets absolutely covered for quite a few months of the year in beautiful red bottle brushes, and they're quite large bottle brushes, and it's called Kings Park Special. And here they are here. These are really nice plants, and you could plant these on the farm, put one out in the street out the front of the house, and these Kings Park specials reduced from $12.99 to $8.99. So really good, strong, beautiful, healthy plants for $8.99, and tough. You know, you plant a hedge of them on the farm, you can hedge them, have them as a specimen tree, and at $8.99 you could go berserk with them.
Now, Big Bird has left a comment on TikTok saying, my parents had a caravan park called Noel's Bottle Brush Caravan Park in Mildura. They are beautiful.
Yeah, so there
and
you
Christine
are.
said that these are fantastic value, and I agree, Christine.
Yeah. Now here we have Coprosma Evening Glow. Now these are normally expensive and hard to get. Evening Glow. Now normally they sell for, I'm not sure, is that $14.99? No, $12.99.
$14.99.
$14.99, and these are only $9.99. Now, Coprosma, they're a New Zealand native plant. They're frost hardy, they're drought hardy. I tell my customers that Coprosmas are tougher than cactuses, and I reckon I'm right. Anyway, so your Coprosma, beautiful shiny foliage, lovely colour. I love the colours. I'll give you a close-up of this. Look into this. Look at the colour in this. At any rate, these are normally, you go, nice bushy one of these at your local nursery that can be pretty pricey. Now these are great for mass planting, and these ones here come down to, Evening Glow, come down to $9.99. So at $9.99, these are great for mass planting. You can grow them into a hedge, grow them as a ball, grow them as a feature. Really, really fabulous. And the thing with your Evening Glow and with all your Coprosmas is, as you go into winter, there's less and less colour in your garden. Now, your Coprosma, the colder it gets, the frostier it gets, the worse the winter gets, the brighter your Coprosma becomes. So you're right in the depths of winter, Coprosmas are absolutely brilliantly colourful. You can see the sort of colour that you see up here. So fabulous colour when it's miserable and cold in the winter. So a great way to put a bit of warmth and colour into your garden.
Now, Mads has said that that's beautiful colouring, and then another TikToker has left a comment just asking height in a hedge for that Coprosma Evening Glow. Evening Glow, you could easily get 1.5, 1.6 metres out of it. Okay, thank you. Okay, now you've got to look at this colour. This is Tequila Sunrise. So Tequila Sunrise, beautiful mixture of orangey colours and stuff, and it really keeps its colour beautifully. I actually designed a garden in my street, and I walk the dog past a garden of this every other day, and it's maintained its colours. It must be for 12 or 14 years. I can't remember how long ago I did it, but and it's a beautiful old hedge now, and it's colourful. It's great. So it trims great year after year. Now Tequila Sunrise, normally $14.99, and these are only $10.99. That's the cheapest I've ever had Tequila Sunrise. So Tequila Sunrise, one of your more expensive Coprosmas, and only $10.99. At that price, you can afford to mass plant them. And if you want a bit of excitement and colour in your garden, Tequila Sunrise, $10.99, and tougher than cactus. Now we've got a great video up at the moment of your Castellan Gold conifer, and your Castellan Gold conifer. Beautiful. You can go. Where would you go to see a video of Castellan Gold? I think you'd go on YouTube. YouTube, definitely.
Yeah, YouTube. And it's the most amazing hedge. And Castellan Gold, one of the most popular conifers in the world. And these ones here are incredibly well priced. They're reduced from $9.99 to $7.99, and they're a metre tall. So a metre tall Castellan Gold, $7.99. So if you've got a farm, if you've got a country property, if you've got an ugly neighbour you want to block out, do it for $7.99. Plant them about 1.2 metres apart, and you can block out anything. And if you're not sure about how good they are, go find my video on YouTube about Castellan Gold. And we show them as the most amazing blocker you'll ever find, and cheap and easy to grow, and $7.99. Plant them about 1.2 metres apart. Now Escallonias are great. If you live out in the country and you've got frost, and then you've got heat, and then you've got drought, which is really how a lot of Victoria is, something like this. This is a beautiful medium-sized one. This is going to grow 90 centimetres to a metre tall. It's going to have pink flowers on it from, say, the end of September to the start of May. So it's going to have 5 months of beautiful pink flowers. There's the pink flower here. I'll show it to you just there. That's your pink flower. And so pink flower. And lovely dark green foliage. It's an evergreen bush, but hardy. Frost, heat, whatever you can throw at it, this one will take it. It'll take extreme frost, extreme heat, drought, poor soils, and make a beautiful round green bush about round the metre mark. And also great for a small hedge too. So and the price on that, it's reduced from $12.99 to $7.99. So you can afford to plant a hedge of them at $7.99. This is a beautiful flowering hedge, great for a sort of if you want a sort of a great hedge for a cottage garden, go for this one here, $7.99.
So we've got a question on TikTok, Chris. Joseph wants to know, do you still stock the Neighbours Begone?
Yes, we do. And we've got a new version. The beetles have been eating them a bit, and we've got a new version coming out. And if you're talking about the new version, that's the one we're really promoting at the moment, because the beetles and bugs and things don't eat it like the old one. Now here we've got Skyrocket Pencil Pines. Now these at $19.99 would be the best deal around, but they're not $19.99. These are $16.99. Now look at them, they're 1.5 metres tall. Now your Skyrocket Pencil Pine's a great pencil pine because it's a little bit blue, like you can plant it with other blue or yellow or silver plants. Interesting colour, a little bit blue. It's very narrow, it loves the trim, and it's got no nuts. A lot of people hate the nuts that you see on some conifers, but this one here, no nuts whatsoever, beautiful blue foliage. And if you were, say you're landscaping a property to sell, you can't go wrong with these. It's $16.99, well over a metre tall, about 1.2 metres tall for $16.99. Lovely blue conifers. Maybe you've got a factory, maybe you've got a farm or something like that. You just can't go wrong with these at $16.99, well over a metre tall, hardy, grow them almost anywhere, drought hardy, and lovely blue foliage, and a cleaner looking one than most of your pencil pines. And only $16.99.
And you said they don't have nuts, so that's really good to know. Chris, Joseph was just talking about the Neighbours Begone. He said he bought one 20 years ago and the Neighbours is still on TV. I think he means Neighbours, the TV show. It's still on.
Yeah, no, oh, right. So it didn't get rid of the show. Yeah. Okay, so here we've got the baby bay. So if you want to have, say you live in an apartment, you want to have a nice little bay tree. You want to have a nice little bay tree in a pot, never gets too big. Or maybe out in the garden, you want to have a lovely round bay tree, or you want to grow a small bay tree hedge. This one grows very thick and bushy. It has the full bay flavour. You can use it in your cooking, but grow it in a pot, grow it in the garden. And this is a compact, bushy bay tree. Really, really a great tree. And these are reduced from $16.99 to $13.99. And you get a really decent plant. Look at this one here. Only $13.99. Have a look here. So $13.99, a really good baby bay, and great for your cooking. Maybe you don't need a big bay tree. Now it's a funny thing, this is one of the most underrated, undervalued plants around, and it's a funny thing, I see these out around Bayswater, Croydon and Heathmont. Lots of people seem to have planted these as a hedge, and these make the most beautiful purple hedge. White flowers in the springtime, massive white flowers in the springtime, which look fabulous amongst the purple foliage. But these trim up as neatly and nicely as a potassium. They trim up in the most beautiful, neat hedge. You can keep them as a hedge maybe 1 to 3, anywhere between 1 and 3 metres in height. So beautiful hedge, easy to grow, and I love the purple colour. So if you want a hedge with a difference, but most people haven't discovered them yet, and you'll find them, they're native, they're fast, they're easy to grow, and this is a copper glow tea tree, and these ones here, price-wise they're great. They're reduced from $12.99 to $8.99, and you have a fabulous purple hedge. So if you want a hedge with a difference, go for this one here, a really tough natives hedge, beautiful purple foliage, white flowers, and $8.99. Put them in about a metre apart. Now this is one of my favourite tea trees, so possibly if not my favourite. Beautiful white flowers, sort of a little bit of coppery toning on the new growth, lovely dense green foliage, great for a hedge, great for a specimen. If you want a sort of a tall screen, it's very, very fast growing. But the great thing about this, I'll crush one up, and I wonder if they can, if I put it up here, I wonder if they can smell it. Just sniff and send us a message if you can actually smell it. Beautiful, beautiful fresh lemon smell. And all you've got to do is crush up the foliage a bit. Some people use this to get rid of the mozzies because it's got that bit of citrus in it. Now these have been reduced from $24.99 to $19.99. So $19.99 lemon scented tea tree. Now this is interesting. These are port wine magnolias. Now I'm just going to show you that these ones here are just starting to flower. You see these beautiful little flowers. Now the flowers are fairly insignificant to look at, but they're still quite pretty. But what I love about these is, yeah, you can see these lovely. Now, once these are developed, they're going to be covered in flowers. The flowers sit just underneath the foliage, but they give off this most amazing smell. And what it is, it's kind of like, it's a beautiful sweet smell with sort of undertones of chewing gum. It's sort of like a sweet chewing gum kind of smell. And it's quite an amazing smell. And one of these in the hot weather will fill your whole garden with fragrance. And they flower for months and months and months and give off the most unusual fragrance with that hint of chewing gum in it. Or bubble gum.
Now on Instagram, Gregory's having a giggle at your smell-o-vision joke. And Ashley was saying about the Neighbours Be Gone that she remembers the ads from TV.
The one where I was nude.
Well, yes, yes. Who could forget that one?
Yeah. So 24. These port wine magnolias are reduced from $29.99 to $19.99. So $19.99. Grow them as a hedge, grow them as a specimen, grow them as a pot plant. Very versatile, very useful, beautiful fragrance, lovely foliage, and really, really tough. Grow them in the frost, grow them in the heat. Now we've got a real deal here. This is Magnolia Little Gem. Now, looking at a magnolia, an evergreen magnolia, this sort of size like this, you'd probably be expecting $100, and maybe we discount it down to $70. But this one here is discounted from $59.99 down to $49.99. So maybe you're putting a house on the market this winter or early in spring and you need some evergreens. I had a guy there the other day and he put a couple of these in front of his units that he's putting on the market, and he was rapt to get such a big plant for $49.99. He was absolutely rapt out of his mind. $49.99, and it made his units look fantastic. Now here we are. This is a 16-inch. Now a 16-inch magnolia like this, you'd expect to be paying $300 or $400 around the traps for something like this. Look at this, it's got a flower on it here, or a bud just about to come. Now this one here, you're not paying $300 or $400, $189.99, and you've got a mature little gem magnolia. And this could, one of the, you could say if you had something you want to hedge or screen off, you could plant a row of these, or you could use one as an individual specimen. But beautiful, big and bushy. I'll give you a really good look at this. Have a really good look. It's a really big, bushy, beautiful plant. $189.99, little gem magnolia, reduced from $229.99.
Now, Chris, Ashley is on TikTok and has asked, how long is this sale on for?
Okay, these plants are on till we sell. We've only got limited numbers, so they're on till we sell out, or till our next one of these is going to be next Friday at 12 o'clock, and all of the old specials finish at 12 o'clock and the new specials start at 12 o'clock.
Brilliant.
Now this is a Pittosporum eugeneoides variegatum, so beautiful foliage, really, really lovely. I might even give you a close look at it, but this has beautiful foliage. Now, when I was a kid, this was one of the most popular hedging and screening plants around, and it's really only just people, it's sort of, and it almost disappeared off the market. Well, it's just coming back onto the market. Now, these are fast growing, they're frost hardy, they're wind hardy, they're poor soil hardy, they're drought hardy, and they're very, very hardy, so, and they don't have many bugs or problems or anything like that, and lovely colour in them. And when I was young, what was popular was people used to plant Photinia and these alternating, so they'd have red new growth and then they'd have this beautiful variegated new growth. And you can still do that today. It's sort of an old-fashioned idea that still looks good, or you can plant them straight, and they really are quite a beautiful coloured hedge. And these one like this one here, this is Eugeenoides, reduced from $89.99 to $69.99. So this is a beautiful big evergreen, and this could be good if you're putting a place on the market and you need some nice big evergreens. This could be good. Like it's $69.99, and it's a really decent bushy sort of evergreen, and it's Botosium eugeenoides, a bit of an old-fashioned kind of touch of class.
Now, Chris, Nibsy's on TikTok, and he said that he saw your van on the road earlier today.
That's right. I've been out doing deliveries, and now I'm back here trying to drum up a bit more business so we can get the van back out on the road. Actually, no, the truth of the matter is we've got 5 vans on the road today, and we're delivering all over Victoria. And that's the interesting thing. If you're watching this, we do free delivery from Traralgon across to Ballarat, out to Bendigo, up to Shepparton, and all the little towns in between. We do free delivery when you spend over $300, and today I've got 5 vans on the road. I was in at 6 o'clock, and the lads here were loading up 5 vans, and they had them all out by 8:30, absolutely full of orders. And I think they might have put out 80 or 90 orders today. So 80 or 90 orders out today.
Now, Marie is on TikTok and said, "Hi, do you go free delivery to Sydney?"
No. It's a long-term dream, but right now a little bit expensive delivery to Sydney.
It's a long time for Chris to be on the road.
Yeah.
Not here.
But no, it will happen. Give me another 12 months or so, and we'll have. But actually, what's interesting, Sydney plant prices are nearly twice the price of Melbourne. Plus, we have bigger, better plants and a better range. Not that I'm biased, but basically, if you're after a big lot of plants, a pallet of plants, which could be virtually a whole garden lot, is about $500 freight. And with the price of plants up there compared to the price of plants down here, in some cases people buy all their plants and we put them on 1 or 2 pallets, send them up there. The freight is a bit expensive, but they still work out cheaper, and we've got bigger, better plants and a better range.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do ship to Sydney every week. We're shipping whole garden lots. On individual plants, it's way too expensive, but on garden lots of plants, and what you can do is we actually have a free garden design service. I heard about somebody going into one of the really famous big Sydney nurseries and asked them for some help designing in their garden. They wanted to spend $10,000 on plants, and the person in the nursery said, "Look, the plants are over there." And that was the extent of the help they could get in Sydney. At any rate, so they rang up and they got me to do a garden design for them, and we shipped their plants up to Sydney. So there you are. But it was funny that the assistance they got was here we do free garden designs for people. So now here what we've got is, this is Mexican orange blossom. This is lovely stuff. It's got a beautiful smell to it, a really, really interesting smell. And right at this time of year, they get covered, when they're mature, they get covered in beautiful white fragrant flowers. And these grow with no sun. They'll grow in the sun, but they'll grow on the south side of your house with absolutely no sun at all. You can grow them as an individual specimen, or you can grow them as a clipped hedge, or as a lovely loose cottagey kind of a hedge, or you can cut them into a sort of a ball shape. They love being trimmed, and these choices are normally a bit hard to get and normally a bit pricey. These ones here are reduced from $24.99 to $15. These are the biggest and best choices. Often you'd go into a nursery and you'd get a little tiny 6-inch pot with half a dozen leaves on it for $15. These are beautiful big 8-inch pots for $15.99.
Now, Chris, Ashley has asked what is our address, because she might try and get down here tomorrow.
1477 Sydney Road, Campbellfield.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing her.
Yeah, come down. Now here we've got our Glauca pencil pine. Now these are normally $30. These have been reduced to $18.99. So $18.99 for Glauca pencil pines. Now Glauca pencil pines, often people come in and they've got units going in next door, and often they'll be older people. They've got units going next door, and to cover up a unit, you need something 8-9 meters tall. And Glauca pencil pines do 9 meters, and they do it quite quickly. But the great thing is they don't have side branches and big widths and things like that. And with older people, you don't want to send them up a ladder. And so these ones here grow tall and narrow, and you never have to go up and trim them. So you can grow them up, and you have them up 7, 8, 9 meters, block out your units in no time. and never have to go up and trim them because they grow tall and narrow. So they're a very functional and useful plant, but you can also use them to great effect as an avenue on a big country property or on a farm. You can plant a beautiful row of them. You can mark your fence line by planting a beautiful row of them, put them up the side of the driveway. Beautiful, fast-growing, tough, grow almost anywhere, tall, narrow conifers, and they're $18.99 reduced from $29.99. That's a great price for those, and they're beautiful, healthy plants too.
Excellent. Ashley says thank you, so we look forward to seeing Ashley tomorrow.
Yeah, great. Okay, now I get lots of customers who want to have olives, and they want the look of the olive, but they don't want the fruit of the olive. They don't want the nuisance of the black fruit dropping everywhere. And here it is. This is a Tolly's upright olive. So this olive here doesn't fruit. It's very, very upright, and so it's great for a tall hedge, a screen. Great for making a pleached hedge. That's like a hedge on a stick where you have the trunk and then you have the foliage up higher. So very, very versatile plant, and very, very cheap too. We've got them reduced from $49.90 and $49.90. If you could buy these anywhere for $49.99, you'd be happy. But these ones here are reduced to $22.99. So $22.99 for a 10-inch pot Tolly's upright olive. No fruit, nice and tall and narrow, great for a hedge, great for a topiary, great for as a feature plant. Beautiful silver grey foliage, but no olives.
Now, Chris, Bianca is on TikTok and asked what was the name of the last tree, and that last tree before the Tolly's upright was the Cupressus glauca pencil pine.
Yes, the tall narrow conifer for $18.99.
And Sharky's saying good on you, mate.
Yeah, great.
Great deals here.
Okay, now here we've got our Limecrete egg pot white set. Now these are set of 3, normally $249.99. Now what's great about these is they've got no hole in the bottom. Have a look here. There's no hole in the bottom. Now you might think that's terrible, but it's actually good. If you're wanting to put some indoor plants in your office or in your house, what you want is no hole in the bottom. And then what you do is you just pop your indoor plants in. My assistant here will be popping those indoor plants in very quickly. See there, watch this. Pop them in. Now you just sit them in like this. Just sit them in like this, and now what's great, what you do is that you sit them in like this, and they can't drop water on your carpet because they've got no hole in the bottom. So they're like that, and they're a really attractive pot. They're smart, they're modern, they're kind of a little bit funky. And look at these plants; they look fabulous in them, but they're just sitting there. Now what you do is if you pot your plants into a pot, the problem is you go to water them, you get water on the carpet, or there's water sitting in the pot and it turns green and goes sour on you. What you do with these is when you're ready to water, you take them out of the pot and you pop them into the sink and you give them a good water, and then you let the sink drain overnight. Put them in the laundry trough or something like that and get them really soaking wet. Like the trick with indoor plants is you don't water them very much. Like something like this at this time of year, you'd water every 2 weeks. But what a lot of people do is only put a tiny bit of water on because they're frightened of getting water on the carpet. So every 2 weeks you get it, you put it in the laundry trough, you drown the damn thing, then you let it drip dry overnight, and once it's drip dry and stopped dripping, you put it back in this pot here, which is not going to leak on the carpet. And anyway, this pot here, this egg pot, normally $249 for a set of 3, and you've got this great big one here. Most stores you'd pay nearly $200 for a beautiful big pot like this. And if you want to use them as a normal pot, just get your husband to drill a hole in the bottom and you've got your hole. But right now we're selling them without the hole so that you can use them indoors. And these are reduced for $129.99. That means that each pot is only about $40 each for a beautiful pot. It's a sort of a semi-lightweight kind of lime concrete pot, and $129.99 for a set of 3. And the big one is worth more than $129.99. So there we are. Now, a lot of people are wondering how to get hold of all this stuff. You can go online and buy it. You have a look at this QR code up here. You've got the QR code up here, and that'll take you there. You can go to the website, hellohello.com.au. Go to the website. You can ring up the store. You can just drive up here, park in the car park, and come in and you can grab these plants.
Now, Chris, I've got a couple of comments online. So we've got Chloe has said, work that tutu. I think you could give her a bit of spin for that.
Yep, there we are.
Soapy has said, very pretty plants, and those are the ones that were in the pots before.
Right.
They were very lovely house plants. And it's Crystal has said it's Chris and Mari. No, it's Chris and Jody.
That's right, yeah. Now what we've got here is Cootamundra wattle in an 8-inch pot. Now Cootamundra wattle, this is the one that gets absolutely covered in beautiful yellow flowers. And what's fantastic, these grow quickly. If you plant this in your garden and ignore it, in 2 years it'll be about 4 meters tall, bushy, and just covered in beautiful golden flowers in early spring. Cootamundra wattle reduced from $29.99 to $21.99, and these are a good size. This one here is a metre tall, and in no time at all it's going to be a couple of metres tall, and beautiful show in the garden. $21.99, so $21.99. Now if you're after a really good fast growing beautiful tree, we'll bring out that one there. If you're after a really fast growing beautiful tree, here is a 6-foot blackwood wattle. Now blackwoods are kind of, to me they kind of have the grace and beauty of an oak tree, but they're much faster growing. They'll grow almost anywhere. They love a bit of a drink. But they're a beautiful fast growing tree, lovely big tree, become very big in no time, beautiful bark, lovely foliage, good shade. And this blackwood tree here, 8-inch pot, $22.99, reduced down to $21.99. That's not a very big reduction. Anyway, so there it is, $21.99, a 6-foot blackwood wattle for $21.99, which is pretty good for a 6-foot blackwood wattle. I think I quoted somebody. They were looking for them, and I think I quoted them in a 12-inch pot for $129 earlier on today. So this is $100 off at $21.99 if you compare it to a normal 6-foot blackwood wattle, and that's a beautiful, dense, fast-growing tree.
Now,
let's put the dark rose and the white one up together.
So Chris, we've got BBF is on TikTok and asked, have we got any lily-pilly hedges today?
The place is rotten with lily-pilly hedges.
Yeah, so get down here, BBF.
Yeah, it's rotten with, it's funny these sorts of expressions.
We've got three bays full of lily-pilly hedging.
Yeah. It's funny, sort of older Australians' expressions. My 3-year-old granddaughter, she said, "Grandpa, have you got any coconut water?" And I said, "Look, I've got it coming out my ears." And she said, "But I only want ordinary coconut water." So it's funny though how those expressions work. Have a look at this. This is a beautiful perennial flower. Look at this, and it comes in purple or white. And normally if you went to your local store, you expect to pay $16 or $17 for something like this. But these aren't $16 or $17. They're really, really cheap. And this is a lovely hardy perennial, going to flower for weeks and weeks and weeks in this springtime. And one of them's called Angelonia Archangel Dark Rose and Angelonia Archangel White. And these are reduced from $12.99 to $9.99. So great value at $9.99. Now here we have Coastal Banksia. It gets a lovely big glossy sort of slightly silver leaf on it and beautiful big yellow bottle brushes. Now this is something you can grow at the beach house. You can grow it in a kind of like a coastal style garden. And you can clip it. You can keep it down to a reasonable size. You can clip it and shape it. It's a kind of a funky looking, modest sized Australian native tree with beautiful foliage and beautiful flowers. And once it's mature, it'll virtually have flowers on it all year round. And this one here is reduced from $24.99 to $19.99. So $19.99, great value, great for the beach house, great for your coastal garden.
Now Chris, Nessie Elders on TikTok and said, I just did a big purchase of productive plants. They arrived in wonderful condition. Thanks guys.
Love to do it. Thank you very much. I was really proud watching my guys loading up 5 vans this morning with, probably more than 100 orders.
And we've also got Simsy, so Peter's on Instagram and has asked, what height will the Tolly's upright olive grow?
4 or 5 metres, no worries.
4 to 5 metres, fantastic.
So now we have a Wee Johnnie. Now I love this one here. It has, we'll have a look at it here. It's got beautiful red flowers, and what it is, it's got a greener leaf than any other Callistemon. It's lovely dense fine foliage, and when you get this, it grows 90 centimetres tall and 90 centimetres wide, and you get that dotted with beautiful little red bottle brushes with that lovely soft green foliage. It's absolutely beautiful. flowers for months and months each year. Really hardy, small feature, colourful feature bush. And that's called a Wee Johnnie, reduced from $14.99 to $11.99. So a great little callistemon for $11.99.
Now, we do have a question from Philippa on TikTok asking, Jeffers Red Maple, how much does that cost at the minute?
Jeffers Red, the cheapest is about $39.99 for 8-inch pots, about 4 foot tall. But we've got advanced ones. I've got them. I think they're $139.99, and they are $139.99, and they're $139.99, and they're about 2.4. So
Fantastic.
2.4, $139.99.
Thanks,
and
Chris.
beautiful ones. They were actually in that giant. They're in that giant tree sale that we had last Saturday. Now, where's it? I want to show. These are beautiful. Actually, I'll get it in close here. Have a look at these beautiful little. Now, these flower for months and months and months. They bring the birds around. Have a look at these beautiful little pink flowers. Really, really lovely. And it's such a delicate thing. Now, this is a Correa, and it's called Little Kate. Now, this is such a pretty plant that you wouldn't need to have a native garden to add 1 or 2 of these to. You could add this to a normal garden, and they wouldn't look out of place. Beautiful little round green bush, lovely little pink flowers, and normally you'd expect to pay $14.99, even $16.99, but these are $11.99. Correa Little Kate, the sweetest pink little bellflowers you've ever seen.
So Chris, Samaya is on TikTok and has asked about the cost of Photinia robusta. We've got Photinia robusta coming up later in the live stream, so watch out for that, Samaya.
No worries. And so Photinia robusta, one of the best hardy evergreens. Now here we've got Correa Windsong. What a beautiful name, and that has a lovely flower. I'll give you a close look at that flower there. And your Windsong is reduced to $10.99. So there it is, $10.99. Correa Windsong, beautiful fine foliage, lovely little plant, beautiful little bell flowers, and only $10.99.
Mythical Rhinos on TikTok saying kids today will never appreciate that skirt. I think we all appreciate that too.
Now, these are beautiful, healthy. Have a look at this. We've got your common pink, which is actually quite uncommon, but your common pink Daphne. Now this is your winter Daphne. I reckon it would be mid-July and this will be covered in flowers and they give off the most heavenly fragrance. And we've got the white Daphne. Now, the white Daphne has quite a different smell. It's like a Daphne, but with a strong citrus sort of infusion in it. Now, Daphnes, what Daphnes love is that they love to have soil under them. The best Daphnes I've ever seen is where somebody gets a barrel or a baby's bath or something like that and cuts the bottom out, digs a big hole, mixes up lots and lots of potting mix, sits that container, bottomless container on top of it, and then fills that up with beautiful potting mix so there's more than a metre of soil under it, and has all of that in an easterly facing spot where you're out of the hot afternoon sun or in a bit of dappled shade. So what they love is dappled shade and lots of a good metre of soil under them, and they go berserk and they make the most amazing fragrant show in sort of mid to late winter. And you've got two sorts. You've got your white Daphne, always hard to get, with a bit of a citrus infusion in the smell, but beautiful strong Daphne, and then your classic pink and white Daphne with just incredible fragrance for winter. And these ones will be flowering, not a lot, but they'll be flowering a little bit this winter. Now, you normally expect to pay $30-40 for a nice bushy little Daphne. These are reduced from $29.99 to $26.99. So $29.99 to so $26.99. Great price for a nice bushy. Look at the size of that lovely bushy one. $26.99. Pink or white Daphne, take your pick, or maybe you get one of each.
And it's a nice one to grab now because Mother's Day is coming up, and whose mum does not want a Daphne like that?
Every mum. Actually, I think your mum would go mad if you go to a pink one and a white one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ashley's on TikTok. She's sending you some love. She's calling you an Aussie legend.
Thank you very much. Thanks, much appreciated. Now, here's a great little ground cover. Gin Gin Gem is a great little ground cover Grevillea, and these are reduced from $16.99 to $10.99. So $16.99 to $10.99. And this will cover a good square metre. Beautiful little red flowers. I might show you the red flowers on it. And lovely lush green foliage. Real tough, grow almost anywhere, easy to grow. Have a look at this here. Look at that little beautiful red flowers, great lush green foliage, and $10.99. So if you've got an ugly old bank or a big old garden and you want a low maintenance and just want to cover it, go for Gin Gin Gem at only $10.99. Now, one of your all-time classic grevilleas is this one here. This one is Grevillea Robin Gordon, and this has the beautiful sort of bottle brush flowers on it. Beautiful bottle brush flowers and really interesting foliage. Have a close look at that foliage there. Look at that foliage there, and look at these beautiful flowers here. This is called Grevillea Robin Gordon. Now, Grevillea Robin Gordon can be kept sort of this sort of height, or with a bit of a trim, or it can grow quite tall and make quite a tall main bush, or even a bit of a screen. And Grevillea Robin Gordon normally are pretty pricey, often a little bit hard to get. These have been reduced from $14.99 to $12.99. Now this is Grevillea Winter Wonder. Now these are very good to buy right now because these are going to flower pretty much all winter. They're absolutely covered in buds. I might give you a close look at these buds here. Have a look at these buds here. They're thick bushy plants. They're covered in buds. There'd be 200 buds on every plant, and these are going to flower for the next 3 months, right through the winter. Beautiful, and that's the flower. Bit of pink, bit of white. Have a look at that there. Bit of pink, bit of white. Have a look at that there. So there's your flower, and this one here is called Winter Wonder, and they've been reduced from $26.99 to $29.99 down to $23.99. So $23.99. Beautiful big bushes. Look at that beautiful big bush. They're covered in buds. A real winter joy for people. Now here we have hydrangea pink blue sunset. Now hydrangeas, if you have them in a high pH soil, are pink, and if you put them in an acidic soil, they're blue. These are beautiful thick bushy plants. Look how thick and bushy and healthy they are. And they are reduced from $18.99 to $14.99. $14.99. Now plant these and you have beautiful big bushy hydrangeas. They're the ones with the great big ball flowers on them. And then here we have the same one in an 8-inch pot. These are fantastic, these ones here. They're autumn colouring a bit now, but imagine this one. If you bought this one here, he is this one here $39.99 reduced down to $27.99. Now what this one will do, if you plant this one here, what will happen with him is that by Christmas he'll be up about this high, he'll be about this wide, and he'll have 9 or so flowers on him. So he'll be covered in big ball flowers and look absolutely fantastic. So if you wanted a hydrangea show in your garden this Christmas, you'd go for this one here, 8-inch pot, reduced down to $27.99. 27, and there's only a limited number of those. $27.99. That's the biggest and best hydrangea I've ever seen for $27.99.
Chris, we've got a question. So Samir has asked, how long is this sale on for at these prices?
Okay, so you've got to jump in. This sale is on till next Friday at 12 o'clock, and then we're doing a special one on cottage gardens. So we cancel anything that's not sold is off the market then. And then what happens is we're doing an amazing cottage garden spectacular.
Wow, can't wait for that one. So the stock is limited, so those prices will only hold until the stock holds out. Yeah,
stock holds out, or we change over to the cottage gardens.
Correct.
Now what we've got here is this is called Hydrangea Scroll Popcorn Candy. Now if we can find the label, this one here, this is a sort of a multicolored one. Now depending if it's in alkaline, it'll be pink multicolored. If it's in acid soil, it'll be blue multicolored. But you've got beautiful healthy plants here, and these ones are $18.99. So $18.99, no, $14.99, reduced from $18.99. So these ones are $14.99, and then these ones here are reduced from $39.99 to $27.99. And this gives you a sort of a multicolored one. And this one's going to be absolutely covered in flowers in springtime at $27.99. There's only a limited number of these, but if you wanted a big show of hydrangea for this Christmas, grab yourself 2 or 3 of these and put on a fabulous big show for Christmas. $27.99. And this one is called Popcorn Candy, sort of a beautiful mixed coloured one. Now here we have a Jacaranda tree, and this Jacaranda tree is reduced from $26.99 to $21.99. Now jacarandas have the beautiful blue flowers, fabulous blue flowers in summer. They're a fast-growing tree. They love a hot, sunny spot. I love the fine ferny foliage, beautiful fine ferny foliage. There they are. They're one of the most beautiful flowering trees. Incredible show. And in Melbourne, they flower for Christmas. So if you plant one of these in your garden, and you put in a hot, sunny spot, bit of water in the summer, and at Christmas time, you're going to have this incredible show of beautiful blue flowers. So blue flowers at Christmas time, Jacaranda tree.
Now Chris, I'm sure Samaya is really impressed by the Jacaranda trees because I am, but she is wondering where is the best place to put hydrangeas?
Hydrangeas, what hydrangeas want is they want a little bit of morning sun, and then out of the sort of midday through, so on the east side or south, or they want all day shade like the south side, or dappled shade or deep shade or something like that. But say you don't have a spot like that and you talk to my staff, they can actually help you find some hydrangeas that will grow in the sun given plenty of water. Now what we've got here is we've got English lavender. Now English lavender, beautiful silver grey foliage, beautiful, these flower in summertime, a beautiful purple blue flower, and they have masses of flowers, like really strong rich flowering. And English lavender, if you want a large growing lavender, a lavender with real impact, what you want is an English lavender. Now these ones here were normally $14.99, reduced to $7.99. So $7.99 for beautiful English lavender. Now Pandaria are the most wonderful. We've got 2 Pandarias to go. Pandaria are the most wonderful climber. I'm going to show you this here. Pandarias have sort of pink and dark pink and light pink flowers. Have a look at them there. They're evergreen. They have really nice sort of tropical looking foliage, beautiful pink flowers like that. So lovely pink flowers, and they're an evergreen climber. But what I love about them is that they flower for 4 or 5 months of the year. So right in the warm months of the year, these flower month after month after month, whereas a lot of climbers sort of flower fabulously for only a week or two. These are long flowering. So if you want an evergreen climber, maybe to cover a pergola or cover a fence, they will need some sort of trellis or something to cling to. But if you want an evergreen magnolia, an evergreen climber, this beautiful Pandaria give you a fabulous show for at least 4 months a year with lovely sort of two-tone pink flowers. And it's Pandaria Pink Magic. And now talking about money, these ones here are
they were $16.99. Now they're $10.99.
So $10.99, which is a great price for a climber. So $10.99, Pandaria Pink Magic.
Now, Chris, we've got a couple of questions. First one is Rennie Engineer. Does English lavender cause hay fever?
No, not especially. Like different people have different allergies to different things, but I've never come across anybody with an allergy to lavender.
Likewise. And then Tracy's on TikTok saying that they are on a farm. They have heavy clay soil in ACT. They've got heavy, in Canberra. They've got heavy frost. What is a good tree for the livestock paddocks?
White cedar would be very good because you have quite a strong drought there in summer, so you'd find your Melia azedarac or white cedar tree fabulous for out in the fields out there. It survives the frost, the heat, the cold, the drought, everything.
Excellent.
And if you pump some water into them, you can get them to grow really quickly, then you can pretty much abandon them and they don't need any care. Now here we have Pyrus temple bells. Now what it is, these have beautiful white flowers. I'll show you the white flowers here. And then as the white flowers are halfway through, it'll become covered in beautiful red autumn colour. So not red autumn colour, red new growth. So your beautiful red new growth, so lovely green foliage, white flowers. So you get, when this is in flower, you'll get an amazing triple colour effect. Green foliage, beautiful little sweet white flowers, and then red foliage, as you can see the red foliage on the label there. So Pyrus temple bells. Now these, you treat these as you might an azalea. You want them out of the hot afternoon sun, you want plenty of moisture. lovely soft soil, and these will make a beautiful small shrub. You know, probably say in 5 or 6 years they'll probably be knee high, beautiful small shrub, and then as they get up to being a small shrub, that show of red new growth and white flowers is absolutely beautiful. So Pyrus temple bells reduced from $14.99 to $8.99. So $8.99, great value at $8.99. Something interesting and unusual. Grow it in a pot, grow it in the garden. Really, really wonderful.
Now, Chris, Two Words is on TikTok, and he has asked, why are you in a tutu? And all I can say is, you won't see Chris's great legs without the tutu, and why not?
Yeah, yeah. So, actually, we hired a marketing consultant. He said we needed to add sex appeal to the show, and so that's why I'm wearing it. That's the real reason, to try and boost sales and add a bit of sex appeal.
So you come to Hello Hello, you get plants with sex appeal.
Yeah, so here we are. Now this is pink champagne. Have a look at this. This is a pink champagne callistemon. So beautiful sort of champagne-y pink look. Beautiful, and you'll find this a really beautiful flowering large bush or small tree, and it's vigorous and hardy, heavy soil, frost, drought, heat, wind. Throw the worst you can go to and it'll thrive there and give you a fabulous show.
Now, Sammy is on TikTok and has said she loves you.
Oh, thank you. Now here we are, Dichondra Little Dancer. Now, unfortunately these have just been trimmed back a little bit. They've been flowering for months. Now this is a beautiful, beautiful, look at the pink show you get here. Have a look, we'll have a look at that pink show. Look at that pink show there. And look at that pink show there. Incredible pink show. This is a beautiful little shrub to put into a pot or put into your cottage garden. Incredible show of pink flowers, and they are normally a bit expensive, but this one here is reduced from $16.99 to $12.99 for Dichondra Pink Dancer.
Now, Chris, Sijan is on Facebook and he said, you guys are wonderful.
Oh, great, thank you. Now here we are, Hot Lava. Now this is Grevillea Hot Lava. It's in a 16-inch pot, normally $16.99. Beautiful, look at the incredible show that you get on that label there. Look at that there. Look at that there. The amazing show, beautiful, beautiful flowers, lovely foliage, lovely and soft to touch, and it's budded up. It's ready. They're ready to, really get going, flowering right. These will flower for months and months of the year, and these are not a ground cover. They're sort of a medium-sized grevillea. They're going to grow a bit over a metre tall, and they are reduced from $16.99 to $12.99.
Now, Chris, if anybody's missed any of the live stream today, just a quick reminder that you can catch up on YouTube a little bit later this afternoon. We'll have the replay on up there, so you can catch up on all of the great sale items that we've had so far.
And all these specials are up on our website, aren't they?
They are.
We've got a whole page of these specials on the website. You just have to go to this code here, or go to Hello Hello, and you'll see our new sale up on the website, so you can catch up on all these prices. Now here's a stunning price. This is a 16-inch pot weeping cherry, and at your local nurseries you might be paying $300 for this. We normally sell these for $199, but today we've got a limited number of these for $60, $59.99. So $59.99, $60 each. And now this tree here, it's got a 2-year-old understock and a 2-year-old head. This tree is 4 years old, and it's in a 16-inch pot. It's a big heavy tree like that. Now you could come down and get one of these this afternoon, or you could ring up, you could buy it online. There's lots of ways of getting this, but at $59.99. Now when you spend over $300 and you buy a couple of trees or whatever, you could get free delivery out to Traralgon, you get free delivery up to Shepparton, you get free delivery over to Bendigo, and you get free delivery over to Ballarat and all the places, and down to Geelong too. I should have forgot Geelong. So you get free delivery out to all those places and all the places in between when you spend over $300. And it's not, it is kind of almost hard, because you'd have to buy 5 of these weeping cherries to get up to $300. It's unbelievable.
That is fantastic value, though. A 4-year-old plant for $59.99.
It's unbelievable.
Unbeatable.
Yeah. Now here we've got a Natchez crepe myrtle in a 13-inch pot, and this is reduced from $139 to $109. So beautiful, beautiful 13-inch pot crepe myrtle, $109. And this has beautiful white flowers, fabulous autumn colour, makes a beautiful feature tree in a nice garden.
So just a quick reminder, Chris, that if anybody wants to grab any of the items that we've been talking about today, you can go to the link on our socials, in the chat, and also the QR code that's up on the screen. People can use that to go to our website to find those deals.
Right, now here we have this is a Tuscarora crepe myrtle, and that has a beautiful hot pink flower, has beautiful smooth bark when it matures. Has a beautiful pattern on it. It's a fast growing, tough, very, very upright, grow 5 meters tall, beautiful big crepe myrtle, awesome autumn color, beautiful all year round. And this one here reduced from $139.99 to $109.99. $109.99, and it's well over 2 meters out of the pot for $109.99.
That's pretty bloody good.
Now, if you're wanting your garden to look good, maybe you're putting a house on the market now, and you want something to grow and give you colour. You cannot beat Bacopa. What we're going to do is bring all these Bacopas up together. We've got pink, white, and blue, and they're reduced. And blue mauve. Let's have a look. We'll get them all up again. Now,
so those Bacopas, they were $11.99. They're now $9.99.
Yeah.
Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, but for people looking, like basically in Melbourne, we tend to have a bit of a drought of colour. We have a bit of a drought of colour in late autumn, winter, and springtime. Now these actually, not only do they grow through the winter, but they flower through the winter. Now let's have a look at these. Look at these. Look at them. They're absolutely beautiful plants. Now you can grow these in a pot. Maybe you've got something else in a pot and it's a bit boring. You plant these in the bottom of your pot. That's the pink one. Then you've got this beautiful blue. Have a look at this beautiful, oh, the pink one we didn't go over here. So pink one is here. Look at this beautiful pink here. This is fabulous pink. And then you've got the beautiful blue and beautiful white. What we'll do is I'll do blue there. Have a look at this blue here and white here. And then we'll swap that and do blue and white. There we are there. So now, but what's interesting, Bacopa, very interesting plant. I love Bacopa. You can grow it in the garden, you can grow it in a pot, you can grow it in a hanging basket, and it grows all through the winter. So if you planted this Bacopa here, by October this would be as big as a dinner plate and it would be covered in flowers. So they grow and flower all through the winter. Now often I'll get people in and they want to jazz up the garden and they're gonna go on the spring market. They're selling the spring market. Now when the spring market starts in Melbourne, most flowers haven't started flowering, but your Bacopa is in full swing when other flowers are not. So if you're putting a house on the market or you've got a special event on in late winter or springtime, Bacopa is the answer. Now Bacopa can be a little bit pricey. These ones here are reduced from $11.99. They're produced from $11.99 to $9.99. So $9.99, pink, white, or blue. Fabulous. I love the white Bacopa actually. I think it's so refreshing seeing that green and white together. Really, really nice. So hanging baskets, pots and garden beds, colour from now right through until nearly Christmas, and peaking in early spring. Absolutely peaking in early spring.
Excellent. This is a bit of an exciting one coming up now.
Now every so often I get somebody in here and they say, look, I bought some ferns but they're all shriveled up and died and I don't know what to do. I want that ferny look. Well, what I sell them the asparagus fern, and this is the fern that's not a fern. This fern here is actually it's actually an asparagus plant, and at any rate, so it's a fast tough grower. It'll grow in all sorts of situations. So asparagus fern, and we've got beautiful. Now this is really, really cheap. instead of paying $24.90, they're $19.90 for little ones like that. If you pay a little one like that, give it a good bit of a feed. A year later, it'll be a beautiful big bushy one like that. So beautiful big bushy foxtail ferns, $19.99. So $19.99, and 12 months later, you'll have something like this. Look, absolutely fabulous. Grow it in a pot. Grow it in a pot. Grow it in the garden. They're very smart and modern looking, look beautiful in a modern pot. Maybe you could, if you're planting this in a pot, you could have a bit of silver dichondra cascading over the side, looking really, really nice.
Now,
And
Chris, oh, sorry. Oh, Chris, so just a reminder for everyone, if anyone's got a question about a plant or an order, our sales team is just a call away. Our telephone number is 9359 331, and our staff are standing by to take your calls now.
Now, one of the most popular plants around is your Ficus hilli standard, Ficus flash hilli standard. Normally $49.99, and these are great to grow in a pot. And like I'll plant these in the garden. A year from now, you have a nice thick trunk, and you have a ball bigger than a basketball. So, and just give me a little trim occasionally. But $49.99 is pretty reasonable, something like that. But these ones here are going out for $24.99. So $24.99 for a standard ficus. So $24.99 for a standard ficus, great value. Put them up the garden path, put them up the driveway, put them in pots, and they'll quickly expand. And one of the tricks to them is don't trim them too hard. Once they start growing, if you want the head to expand quickly as the shoots come, just snip the end off the shoots, and they'll keep bushing up, and they'll expand much quicker than if you shear the whole thing off. So and plenty of fertilizer, plenty of water. Now here's one of my favourite plants. If you've got a dull shady corner, something that doesn't look too bright, this one here is your Cuba gold dust. And this loves the shade, and it thrives in the shade, and it'll grow 1.5 to 2 metres tall and make a beautiful, if you've got a south facing fence or wall and you can't get anything nice growing there, look at the colour in this. And why this is great to put it, it's so brightly coloured. That's what makes it great to put in the shade, because it'll make that whole shady area just light up for you. Have a look there. So your shady area, and these are quite vigorous growing, easy to grow, but don't plant them in the hot afternoon sun, but brighten up that shady corner. A Cuba japonica gold dust, and these ones here are $17.99 down to $7.99. So $17.99 to $7.99. So really nice and cheap, and a great way. Grow them in a pot, grow them in the garden, but a great way to brighten up a shady corner. Now Hebe Emerald Green is a beautiful little natural ball. If you wanted a small ball that was nice and natural, you'd get a Hebe Emerald Green. So really nice, small, natural little ball, and you can grow them as a lovely little ball up the garden path. If you want something very, very low maintenance, beautiful lush green ball, here is Hebe, and lovely fine foliage, and it never flowers. Very, very neat. No dead flowers to trim off or anything like that. Neat little ball, and these are lovely and cheap. These Hebe Emerald Greens reduced from $12.99 to $7.99. Beautiful little maintenance-free little round green balls that you can put in the garden, and only $7.99. Now here's a really great deal. This is a standard bay tree, and it's a beautiful standard bay tree. It's got a 1 metre stem, and it's got a beautiful big bushy head on it. And normally, most nurseries would charge $300 or $400 for something like this, and we normally charge $219.90. But this one here is now $179.99. So $179.99. Grow this in a pot, or maybe you're out in the country and you're in frosty country, and the standard lily pillies and the standard ficuses out in that country there all get frostburn in the winter. This one here won't be frostburn. It'll take the heat, it'll take the drought, it'll take the frost, it'll take the poor soils. Or you could use this as a base for a pleach hedge. What you do is you plant a row of these, plant them say 1.2 to 1.5 metres apart, and then instead of trimming them into balls, allow them to fill out and make a beautiful pleached hedge. So these can make a pleached hedge. They're great in a pot. They're great either side of a pathway or a stairway or something like that to mark the way. And these will develop into beautiful, and they'll live for 50 or 100 years, and you can develop into a beautiful big round green ball on a stem. And what's great is that these stems are really nice and tall, and these ones here, cheapest we've ever had them, $179.99 for a 5-foot standard bay tree.
Now, Chris, we've got Joseph that's online on TikTok and is asking, do we have any Japanese holly in stock?
Japanese
holly?
Yes, we do. We've got the prestigious Japanese holly. I've got them about 80 or 90 centimetres tall for $49.99.
Excellent.
So here we have something quite unusual, something I have not seen around too much. This is a Photinia robusta, and it's been trimmed into a standard. Now what this is going to be covered in springtime, this can be covered in white flowers and red new growth. So really beautiful bit of colour in the winter, but lovely, and you'd find this hardy. You can grow this in frosty country, windy country, difficult country. You could grow this ball to be quite large if you want to, or trim it and keep it quite small. But this is a Photinia robusta, reduced from $119.99 to $79.99. So for $79.99, this is one of the biggest and best standards you'll get for $79.99, and you'll have a beautiful show of white flowers and red foliage, and it's $79.99. So $79.99 standard Photinia, probably the biggest standard you'll get for that sort of money anywhere.
All right, Chris, well, that brings us to the, oh no, beg your pardon, there's still one more to go.
Now here we have a Portuguese laurel. It's a very, very classy sort of a standard, and this one here, it's about a 3-foot stem and a beautiful big bushy head on it, and it's reduced from $159.99 to $129.99. Now you could use this, either you could plant these if you planted these 1.5 metres apart, these would make a beautiful pleached hedge. So you could grow a pleached hedge with these, or you could grow these either as a pleached hedge, or you could grow them and keep them as a lovely round stand and have them as a feature in a garden or in a pot. They do beautiful in a pot, so garden or pot, beautiful standard, or grow it as a pleached hedge. Now your Portuguese laurel, beautiful dark green foliage, very classy looking, lives for many, many years. And in springtime, it's covered in beautiful white flowers that are like little cat's tails. So lovely white flowers all around. So beautiful white flowers, beautiful green foliage. And this is a Portuguese laurel. And they're very, very cheap. It reduced from $159.99 to $129.99. This is enormous compared to what people sell ficuses and lily pillies at $129.99. This is a really good value for money standard. So there we are, Portuguese laurel standard. Pleach it or grow it just as a lovely standard in a pot or the garden, $129.99. And that's the last one for today.
So Chris, just a reminder to everybody that everything you see here, or that you have seen here on the live stream, is available online by the link on our socials or the QR code that's on the screen next to Chris right now. It's just a reminder that stock is limited and that people need to get in quick if they want to nab these specials. If you've missed part of the live stream, no worries. You can catch a replay on YouTube right after we're finished here.
Yeah, and also what I want to say is that we're open to the public. You can ring up and you can order. You say, those Portuguese laurels look fantastic. Give me 2 of them. You can ring up right now. You could pop in this afternoon, or maybe you plan tomorrow and get in here. We're open tomorrow morning from 8:30 till 5:30, so you could be in here on Sunday and you can check out these bargains yourself and grab them yourself, or you can go online and buy them. But come down and have a look.
Absolutely. And
I think that we're probably the best stock nursery in Victoria. Like you won't find more plants, and we've got a warehouse full of plants out the back that they're wondering where they can put them because the nursery is so full they don't got nowhere to put them. There's so many plants we've got out the back. So fabulous range of stock, and then you've got these the Grower Direct flash sale, and all of these are available till sold out or until our next sale comes out, which will be 12 o'clock next Friday. And 12 o'clock next Friday, what we're doing is we're doing an extravaganza on cottage gardens. Now, my mum was a great cottage gardener. I actually, my first job was when I was 7. I worked in a cottage garden every Saturday morning till I was 17. And I love cottage gardens, and I'm going to love putting together 100 beautiful cottage garden plants for you to choose from. And we're doing native cottage, we're doing Hampton's cottage, we're doing colourful cottage, we're doing all different cottages, we're doing feature trees for your cottage garden. So you'll be able to put together, if you come to that, you'll be able to put a beautiful cottage garden together on the cheap. So it's something a little bit different to what we've been doing, and it's really my field and my area. So it's something that I really enjoy doing, is putting together the cottage garden for next week. And then the other thing is, when you spend over $300, now you can come in here and you can pick out a few plants, and you might drive a Beamer or something, you don't want to get it all filthy and wrecked with our plants. What you do is, if you spend over $300, you've got free delivery. Now you could ring up over the phone, you could buy online, spend over $300 and you've got free delivery from here to Terrelgan, from here to Shepparton, from here to Bendigo, from here to Ballarat, and from here right down to Geelong. So enormous area. You know, it's a funny thing, we've got one van and it's not even a year old, and it's on 130,000 kilometres from doing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 130,000 kilometres, and it's not even a year old yet from doing all of those distances. So we really do it. We're out to all those places almost every week. And even occasionally, if you persuade us, we can go a little beyond some of those areas. So free delivery all around Melbourne every day. You know, we're all over Melbourne. So it's real easy to get these plants either online, over the phone. And say you saw a lot of interesting plants here and you're overwhelmed. And I had a lady like that here this morning. Came in and got a garden design. She said, I looked at all the plants and I just didn't know what to do. She said, they're beautiful, but I didn't know which ones to buy. So she got herself a free garden design, and now she's buying her plants with confidence because she's got it all sorted out what to buy. So if you've seen some great bargains but you don't know how to put your garden together, take advantage of our free garden design, take advantage of our free delivery, take advantage of our fabulous website. You know, really just we've got a lot to offer, so really take advantage. And then, last of all, my team have done a fantastic job. This was a short week. Basically, our week started on Tuesday and finished on Thursday. We had to get 100 items together for a sale. We had to come up with a concept for the sale. We had to, vet the growers. We had all sorts of stuff to do. We had to actually get the plants in here. We had to, truck day and night to get plants in here. We've had guys out the back sorting them out in the shed, pricing them all. And we've had people doing a video, putting the show up, printing our lists of plants, checking out all the prices. And I want to thank everybody who's helped. It's been a really big job to get it done in what we call a short week. And so I want to thank everybody who's helped me, and Jody, who's helped. We just grabbed her and said, right, you're comparing today, and she's done a fabulous job. So I just want to thank everybody who's helped, and all the girls and everyone and the boys who have helped bring all the plants through. I'm really proud of how well it's turned out in such a short and difficult week. So thank you.
And importantly, Chris, we would love to see the folks online getting down to the nursery if they can. We're at 1477 Sydney Road, Campbellfield, and we are open daily from 8:30 till 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, and if you want to visit the best stock nursery in Melbourne, come and check it out. I think you'll be impressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, thanks very much for joining us today. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy planting, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.